Still in your rounds component, please collapse the function and remove the unneeded print statements. Please put in a comment showing where the main routine starts. And our next step is to assume that our user is going to go first. We can set the first person to the user, the second person to the computer, and set up player 1 and player 2 points as user points and computer points. If the user has a lower initial roll, they need to start first. If the user and computer points are the same, then our user still gets to start first. We then need an else statement for if the computer starts first. If the computer goes first, then first needs to be the computer, and second needs to be the user, and the player 1 points needs to be the comp points, and the player 2 points needs to be the user points. To switch them round, we can go player 1 points, comma player 2 points is player 2 points, comma player 1 points. We can use the same idea to make our computer first and our user. So go first, comma second is second, comma first. To see if some code is going to do what we want, we can use a sandpit area. Please go File, make a new Python file, and call it a_sandpit. Now type in the code that you see on your screen. What we're wanting to do is check that our notation will switch our apple and banana around. So we'll print it, switch it, and then reprint it. And when we run the piece of code, we can see that the switching notation does work correctly. Back in our round component, we want to loop until we have a winner. Our condition is while the first player's points is less than 13 and the second player's points is less than 13, we want to loop. To give the players some control over the display, we let them push enter to make the program continue. So here's a super fast challenge. Can you write the code that lets the first player roll the dice and then updates their score? There's a quick reminder on how we can roll some virtual dice by choosing a random integer between 1 and 6. And then we can update the score using plus equals, which adds the player roll to the player's points. Our next step is to check if player 1 has got over 13, in which case they've won the round. So there's some nicely commented code where we check, are the points more than or equal to 13? And if so, we break out of the loop. If the first person didn't win, then our second person has the opportunity to roll the dice. Can you put in the missing code? And there it is, and you could potentially copy, paste, and change some variable names to make that work. Next, we want to tell them what the second person rolled. And as I coded this, I realized that I didn't actually tell them what the first person rolled. So we want to do that after the first person rolls the dice, carefully editing the variables in the curly brackets. And then down the bottom, before we end the loop, we can say the results for that round. And for now, we're just going to say end of round at the end of the loop. As this video is getting a little bit long, we'll complete this component and test it in the next video.